way back home after a fantastic few days of swimming and beach and wonderful weather and the best galettes. Oh, Breton galettes, wonderful. Anyway, we left this morning at 10 to 9. It's 10:15 now. We've done 100 kilometres. We've got another 181 to go to get to another Tesla supercharger near Nantes. So it seems there's one on the east side of the Nantes ring road and there's one on the west side. So going to the west side one this time. That's where the sat-nav's taken us. We left with about 440 of range, and currently on 333, and thanks to some wonderful driving by Mrs. e-Niro, we are at about 12.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is about 4.7 miles maybe per kilowatt hour. Well, that'll soon change with me driving, so we're just heading down towards Rennes. Quite busy, lots of Brits heading back to get their ferry. In fact, some Brits in front of us here. Too many Brits on the roads in France. Got to do something about that.
And on that controversial note.
On that controversial note. So after 282 kilometres of driving, about 3 hours, we're down to 26%, 120 kilometres of range left, and we've reached the Tesla supercharger at what's called Nantes, which is a great big sort of commercial park on the west side of Nantes, just off the ring road. There's an IKEA, a McDonald's, just about everything, and I think there's 12 charging points here. So we are still another 220 from home, but we're comfortably over halfway now, so just want to get maybe 400 kilometers on before we leave, and it's charging at 74 kilowatts at the moment, so that's good news. So we've gone from 26% state of charge to 54, and we've stayed above 70 kilowatt charging speed the whole time. It did peak at 79, dropped down to 57 now, so we're at 55%, but it's only taken it's only taken 15 minutes to add like 30%, so that's pretty good. So there's lots of cars coming and going here. There was a Peugeot 208 charging, a Niro EV, one of the new ones. There's an MG4 up there charging, and now there's Model S, Model Y, 2 Model 3s, and I'm at 76%, still going at 38 kilowatts, and I think that's enough. Yeah, we got 383 of range, 4 more minutes to get to 80. Going to be pulling out, 4 minutes to 80. It's dropped to 26 kilowatts now, but we've got enough to get home, so it's really quick. And I don't know how much it's cost. What's it cost? So it's cost €15.58 so far for 38 kilowatt hours. So just work out what that's going to be, and then I'll give a sum up at the end. So before I do the summing up of the trip, just like to thank you for watching, and also we've had a few new subscribers in the last couple of videos, so welcome. And anyway, so the trip then was 1,040 kilometers. It's 500 exactly, pretty much there and back. And we didn't really use the car very much when we were there. We walked most places. We did do one little drive around the coast there, what's known as the Pink Granite Coast. It's a very pretty part of Brittany. So 1,040 kilometers then, 645 miles. We started the journey having charged at home, and although when I said in the previous video that it was showing like 480, 490 of range with the air conditioning on. That was based on a few weeks of running around locally on the autoroutes, driving faster. 450 is more reasonable, and that's really borne out by the efficiency that we were recording on that, which was swinging between when Mrs. e-Niro was driving is about 13.7, 13.8, and about 14.3, 14.4 when I was driving. So it's around 14.1, which works out with a 64 kilowatt hour battery, a range of about 450 kilometers. Okay, so charging costs then. We charged twice at Tesla, once going up and once coming back. Going up, we bought 26 kilowatt hours of power, and that cost us €10.66. Coming back, we started at a lower state of charge. We didn't start at 100%. So we spent more. We bought 39 kilowatt hours at Tesla on the west side of the Nantes ring road, and that cost us €15.99. So we spent €26.65 with Tesla, and then we did two very slow charges in Trebeurden. In fact, it was the only sort of public charger there, and as I say, the most we got out of it, even when there was no other vehicle charging from that charging post, was 5.8 kilowatts, and when there was another car there, it was like 2.8. With the really slow charger, we could it was 10 minutes walk from where we were staying, and then also a 10-minute walk to the beach. It was convenient, it was slow, and it cost us, funnily enough, €9.46 and we had two sessions. On both sessions, strangely, we got 22.2 kilowatt hours. They were exactly the same, so it was €9.46 times 2, plus the Tesla charging. Our total costs of public charging were €45.57. Do a bit of a deeper dive just on the Tesla charging and why charging at Tesla is just so good, and it just makes so much sense. So we spent, as I say, €26.65 on buying 64 kilowatt hours from Tesla, which is enough with our average, summer driving to drive 461 kilometers, which is 285 miles. Now, let's say I'd had a hybrid car and it did 50 to the gallon, because I tend to still think in gallons. Coming from the UK, miles per gallon certainly is very sort of ingrained in me, I suppose. So 285 miles at 50 to the gallon would have been 5.7 gallons. 5.7 gallons is 26 litres. Now, at the moment, petrol, 95 RON, mid-price petrol, not the really expensive stuff, is €1.85 a litre at the supermarkets. So that would be then €48. So what I drove in the charging at Tesla for €26.65 would have cost me €48.22 in a car doing 50 to the gallon. Now, there's so much stuff on YouTube at the moment about, it's more expensive to run electric cars now because electricity prices have gone up. Well, it really depends where you live. I mean, Tesla charge 40 to 41 euro cents per kilowatt hour now. And what's happened, in fact, is that all the other charging networks like Ionity, Total Energies, Engie, there's 4 or 5 of them here in France that you see along the autoroutes, they've all brought their prices down. They're still not as low, as I showed in the previous video, Shell at 59 euro cents that we saw when we just stopped to change drivers at one place. And, Tesla have just nailed it. It's easier to use, it's cheaper, it's quick. I mean, if I had a more modern, say modern car with a higher charging rate, we'd be able to take all of the 150 kilowatts that are being offered there at Tesla, and it would be a much quicker charge. But that's really not the point. I mean, we find that after driving for 3 hours, a 20-minute, half-hour stop is just fine. It gives you a chance to eat a sandwich and you know go to the toilet, do whatever, stretch your legs. So it's really not an inconvenience, but that it is certainly much cheaper than running and even an efficient fossil fuel car. Anyway, thank you for watching, and until the next time.